if you're doing blog content as part of your SEO strategy, there's a very good chance that you are wasting time. The odds are for most businesses, the people that are Googling these things are not interested in reading anything that you have to write, but they will sit down for 3 minutes and watch a video.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of SEO On-Air. I'm your host, Aaron, and today we have Frank Olivo, founder and director of Sagapixel. In this episode, we talk about how he started Sagapixel, some of the challenges he faced in his early days, and what set Sagapixel apart from other agencies. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Who exactly is Frank, and what was your, let's say, origin story before Sagapixel?
So I started off in digital marketing in college, actually, when the internet was like literally just starting to blow up in 1998. And I worked there for a couple of years. I learned a lot of the basics of mostly of paid, but also like web design and and marketing in general. I decided to change majors my junior year of college, and with that, I entirely left this world behind for several years. About 7 years later, I very slowly got back into digital marketing just to save all the details, and came back in full time in 2013. Somebody that I worked with at the agency in 1998 started his own kind of traditional marketing agency, and he needed assistance with Google Ads. So I came on as a contractor, and then doing like business development. Like I handled new business for them. And then opened up Sagapixel about 4 years later.
When you were starting out Sagapixel, did you ever feel like maybe you had 1 or 2 years to actually make it count, or you might lose the business?
Yeah, I mean, that was the whole idea. So I finished my MBA in December of 2016. At that time, I had to make the decision between getting a corporate job and doing marketing that way, or possibly trying to turn this like freelance gig that I had into a full-time business. Though from the beginning, I had the idea though that I was going to give myself 1 year, and if I couldn't turn it into a business in a year, then I would just go get a corporate job somewhere.
Right. And I'm glad it kind of worked out within that 1 year. But were there, let's say, any kind of target goals that you had to achieve within that 1 year?
Year one, I had to see growth. I had to see revenue growth, because year one, I literally started in the guest room in my house. By that summer, and I started in January, and in that summer, we were getting enough business where I was like, okay, this is going to be able to be a business. I'm going to need to start working with people and bring people on. And that summer, I got a tiny little office space and brought on like my first part-time employee. And really, by the end of year one, it was around, I want to say like November of that year is when it seemed like it was going to work. Because I also do remember in September and October of that year, after I signed my 1 year lease and the whole nine, sitting in the office, and it was like a Thursday afternoon, and I literally didn't have anything to do. And I was kind of despondent because I had agreed to this lease, and like I had finished all my work for the week. There was literally nothing for me to do. So it was very, very difficult that first year, and nobody talks about any of this. Like everybody, if you go on LinkedIn, anybody that's a consultant makes it look like it's nothing but champagne and caviar, and it's never that. And then
it's even like I wanted to start a business, and I started a business, and it was all good from there.
And everything was great, and no one will share with you any of these struggles. And then even when you do start getting business in the door, no one will ever talk to you about the growing pains where, first of all, you hire your first employees and they don't do the things the way they need to do, and you end up having to redo it, and you're still paying somebody to do it. And then you have the other part of, okay, well, I hired some people and now I lost some clients. Now what do I do? And then you have I brought on a whole bunch of new clients and I need to hire, and I don't really know what I'm doing when it comes to hiring. Yeah. And I'm still, honestly, I'm 7 years in and I'm still figuring out hiring as an agency owner.
how did you kind of avoid burnout, or how did you kind of stray away from getting too burned out?
I haven't, Tom.
Yeah.
I haven't. This is the answer. I've gone through extreme periods of burnout, a couple, but you take the time that you need to recuperate. I'll give you one: changing routines, like taking a weekend and not just sitting around the house for the weekend. Taking the weekend and going away for the weekend, like doing something new, will bring you back and make you feel refreshed. Back when I was a musician, we had a weekend residency in DC where we did like 2 shows, and I remember coming back that Sunday night, and I felt like I was gone for a week. And the reason was that everything was completely new and completely fresh, and I got away, and I try to do that now.
Okay. Do you mind if I kind of build a hypothetical with you?
Mm-hmm.
In this situation, let's say I am someone who has the means to kind of start a business. I have an idea and everything as well, and I'm coming towards you who could possibly be like a mentor figure for me. I've kind of seen your story, I've heard of it as well, and I kind of know you are the right guy for this kind of mentorship. But my initial questions might come out as very basic. So like the first one I would start off is, if I did start off a company, let's say an SEO agency, what would be the right way to, let's say, hire the right people for my company? Is there, let's say, a formula to kind of make sure that I get employees that will kind of do the productivity without kind of, cutting corners or something?
So everybody that we hire here needs to meet 3 criteria. We rate everybody on 3 things. How intelligent does this person seem to be? And it's not that I need everybody to be Albert Einstein, but if anybody doesn't seem like above average smart person, we're not moving forward in the process. The second one is they need to actually want to work here. You get a lot of applicants for jobs and people that join your team. They really just they just want a paycheck. They're not interested in working for you. They're not interested in your company. They just want to get a job. They want to not work at Wawa or Barnes and Noble. And you avoid those people like the plague. You want the people that actually want to work with you. So like for us, if I'm interviewing someone and one of the first questions, what do you know about us? If they don't know anything about us, the interview's over there. Okay. The third thing is they've got to be somebody that's going to get along with everyone else. That doesn't mean that they should be the same as everyone else. They just have to have a very pleasant, they have to be nice people that are going to get along, that other people are going to like, and that they're going to like the other people here. If you overlook any one of those criteria, like it doesn't work if you're through 3-1 with any of those criteria. We rate everybody 1 to 3. If there's a 1 anywhere, it's an automatic disqualification. And that was something that I've only learned in the last 2 years, where we would have somebody that was a wonderful person and they really wanted to work here, but they really weren't too bright. Or they were super bright and super great at SEO and they really wanted the job, but they were going to have friction with people. That person didn't work out either. These are specific scenarios. Like I've hired these people in the last years and like they do not work out.
Okay. I mean, like these are kind of ways to ensure that when you do hire an employee, they are kind of joining with purpose, that they know where they're going to go, how the company is going to move forward as well. But to kind of maybe take the lens back a little bit, if I am starting out a company that's maybe specifically for SEO, is it better for me to kind of start off with hiring people for my company itself, or is it just easier for me to outsource it?
So it depends on the type of company that you're running. When it comes to outsourcing, you have no control, or you have no impact on the quality control really with outsourcing. That's the major downside to outsourcing. You have no control over the product that you're delivering. If what you're aiming to do, if you're aspiring to land Fortune 500 companies or to become like the industry leader in your industry, it's not going to happen outsourcing. If what you're looking for, on the other hand, is to have a lifestyle business where all you do is handle sales and you're bringing in and you're great at bringing the business in and you're good enough with the client engagement where you can maintain, you can achieve a churn rate where you're gonna have a churn rate, you're gonna churn clients, but you're gonna do so, you have the ability to bring in clients at a higher rate than you churn them, then you're gonna have a successful business long term. And there's an argument to be made that you're better off outsourcing that work because you just took a huge amount of headaches off your plate of hiring and training and all that sort of stuff. So there definitely is a place for outsourcing the work that's being done. It just has to be aligned with the right type of business that you're running or that you want to run.
In the same kind of question then, when it comes to the type of business, is there any, let's say, pros and cons to choosing to niche down or niche down? Or is it better to kind of just provide full service and then figure it out later?
This is a great question, a very important question. So you should always niche down in some way. That doesn't necessarily mean by specializing in an industry. By specializing in an industry or a specific type of deliverable, it allows you to get really good at that, which is going to result in you delivering more value to your clients. It's going to have less ramp up time to get started with someone. You are going to have an easier time during the sales process because you're going to have more credibility because you know this person's business. But niching down doesn't necessarily mean I do SEO for chair makers. It could also mean that you specialize in link building, or that you specialize in SEO-driven content marketing, or there's so many different specific needs that you meet as an agency. You have to pick something long term. Otherwise, you are going to struggle to ever get really good at anything. Now, the downside to niching down when you pick an industry specifically is you are tying your agency's future revenue and growth to the ups and downs of a specific industry. In other words, let's say if you I specialize in SEO for construction. Wait till the next economic downturn comes along. Right. And like nobody's built. If you all of your customers were construction companies and home services in 2009, you wouldn't have had a business in 2011 because none of those guys are spending money on anything. None of them had business. So you need to be careful. You also need to be conscious of that.
How did Sagapixel kind of do that? Well, did you guys start off as one service type thing, or did you kind of niche down as well?
We started off as I'll do work for anybody that'll pay us. Okay. And we still, to an extent, have a little bit of that, to be perfectly honest. We've done most of our work and most of our client. So I had to pick some customer to put our messaging towards. And that's been healthcare. Now we have some other types of businesses that come in. We'll work with businesses that need SEO-driven content marketing because we're really good at that. And if somebody comes to us in one way or another that's like home services, like construction or whatever, or we have a client that just signed with us as an e-commerce in weapons, like with guns, and we're able to. I know that we're going to be able to help them, in particular because of the SEO-driven content marketing. But all of our marketing goes towards healthcare in one way or another, and really it's the area where, if we have a client that comes in that's a plastic surgeon or med spa home care agency, we already know that those industries inside and out. We don't even have to do keyword research. We can just get into doing the work. So there's a benefit if you're one of those types of businesses to working with us. If you are a gun accessory company, no one has niched down in that industry. So there's no one out there that can serve you that already knows your industry the back of their hand. And you're going to have to pick a company that hasn't niched down.
To kind of, let's say, continue with that then, when it does comes to, let's say, onboarding a client, is there something that Sagapixel does differently? Like, how do you know a client is going to be worth your time?
Well, when it comes to our onboarding, I don't think that there's anything that we do differently. The one thing that I will do is make sure that, first of all, we're actually going to be able to help them. Because I'll have leads come in that I know SEO is not the channel for them, and I'll tell them. There are also going to be leads that come in where given the budget, the resources that they have, we're not going to be able to help them. And I'll tell them that. Like, I'll have companies come on. The minimum to work with us is $950 a month. And if we have a private equity firm that comes on and says, "Oh yeah, I'll give you a $950 budget," I won't do it. I made a mistake 2 years ago. We damaged our reputation with a well-known company in our space because it was a franchise owner that he had multiple territories. He owned huge territory within one of the states in the United States, and he wanted to spend under our minimum for each one of his territories, but it'd be our minimum. Basically, I'll pay you the $950 a month, but you're going to spread this across 3 massive, completely very competitive territories. And I should have said no. And ultimately, I really wanted our foot in the door at this company. We took him on, and his expectations were that we were going to get $5,000 worth of work done with a $950 a month budget. And then there was a fault. It didn't end well. And then the corporate saw this, and they've never sent us another referral client ever again since then.
I feel like when it comes to an SEO agency, you really need to be good at SEO to show up in that visibility, because why else would you be an SEO agency if you can't, organically show up?
Here's the counterpoint to that. So you're talking to somebody that's done this. The main way that our clients find this is through organic search,
right?
Through our blog content and through our service pages. However, the big players, places like Brain Labs, don't bring in business from SEO. Like they've built their companies through their reputation, through thought leadership, through conferences. The people that own the big SEO agencies are not generating business by ranking nor through their blog nor through their service pages. They're generating that business through social and through conferences. Now, you also do have SEO agencies that generate business through search, but for me to turn around and say that, like, Seer Interactive in Philadelphia is a bad SEO agency because they don't generate any business through SEO is nonsense. It's nonsensical. Right. And they don't. Honestly, organic search is not how that company generates its business.
I think that I was probably way off with that. For some reason, I always believe that if you are an SEO agency, you should at least be getting a lot of your clients through just organic. But I kind of understand now that there are different channels that can probably do better for that. I just always felt like if you are in that field, that should be your number one thing.
I'll put it like this, though. I don't think you're wrong. I think that there are lots of SEO agencies that don't know what they're doing. Maybe the majority don't know what they're doing. And I've found that if you are like a small SEO agency in a local market or the service-specific market, if you specialize in dentists and you aren't really growing, you don't have a very strong pipeline, and you're not getting business through SEO, through organic search, like getting in front of dentists, you're probably not. Probably because you can't, because you don't know how to, and because you're probably not very good at SEO. And you're not wrong. I wouldn't disagree with you there. What I'm saying is it depends. At the same time, if you are an SEO agency that specializes in doing SEO for dentists, and you've done phenomenally with Facebook ads, and you decided as a result not to invest in SEO, great, good for you.
Right.
But if you also want to serve, if you want to land Fortune 500 companies, you're not going to do it through SEO. It's not possible.
Yeah.
Johnson & Johnson is not Googling SEO company near me.
Yeah. And then clicking the top result and then going through the very organic method. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not happening. So it depends on who your target customer is.
We keep going in and out of these podcast questions, but one of the other topics that we've normally had is how things have changed over the years. And one of the biggest disruptors that we've had is just AI. How has your experience been with AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini?
ChatGPT and all of these generative AI tools have taken away a lot of the tedious tasks that we need to handle. So, for example, If I want to write, I'm not a fan of H1 tags like Botox.
Right.
Like I like H1 tags on landing pages that actually say something about the business that are also optimized for search. So for a writer, a copywriter, an SEO to sit down and write 35 potential search optimized H1 tags for a Botox service page, that's going to take 2 hours. ChatGPT can do it in 2 minutes. And then we can mix and match and pick out the H1 that we like the most. It's helped a lot with reporting. We built out a setup now for us to take all of our timesheets and summarize all of them each month for our monthly reporting, for monthly client reporting, using OpenAI's API. So it's taken out a lot of the tedious work. It's not great when it comes to like one button press, write a landing page for me. In the ever evolving landscape of, you get that language that screams AI generated that hasn't taken away the need of an actual marketer that knows what they want to say, but it's taken away a lot of the tedium.
Right. It's made the, let's say, monotonous work a lot easier, but we still need to kind of have the human involvement.
Yeah. The thing is, AI could be argued that it stands for average intelligence. And if what you want to do is put out average work, it might be able to do that in some cases. If you want to put out good work, that's another story.
I think one of the phrases that I've heard quite often is garbage in, garbage out. If your prompts with ChatGPT are garbage, then you're going to get your average intelligence content.
Yeah, and it's basing it on the entire internet. And a lot of it is garbage.
Yeah, pretty much. But do you have any tips and tricks on how to kind of use these language models in a better manner?
Give it really detailed guidance. So when I've been actually working on some stuff for us on our website, and I've used recently, believe it or not, I do write some of the copy on our website still, just because I'm the one talking to our clients, so nobody's going to be better qualified to do it. And I am using Gemini. However, I'm giving it very detailed explanations about what I want to say to spit out the paragraph. I'm giving it very, very, very specific details about the direction that I want it to go, and then I'm editing what it's outputting.
Right. It's not just a simple, hey, I need one paragraph with this keyword, and then
no, absolutely not. It's got to be, and the keyword should be focusing on I'll give you an example. We have one page that we did. You can find it if you dig around on our website about YouTube marketing, and and I remember one of the prompts said something along the lines of, this paragraph should explain that the aim of our service is not just to drive views and likes, but to drive qualified views and qualified subscribers to your channel. And then there are a couple other things, but basically, don't say write an introductory page for a YouTube marketing services page. No, it's got to explain, say something about the business. What do you want to say about it? What do you not want it to say? What kind of tone do you want it to strike? Have it speak directly to the person. All of this needs to be part of the prompt.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are very much like, write me a blog post, and then they just leave it to go. And then when they see the kind of average content they get, they blame it on AI being not good enough. And the actual problem is that they just didn't put in the effort themselves.
I can tell you that I've seen that here, like at our company. I mean, we worked on it and gotten better, but when we first started using these tools, that's exactly what our writers were doing. Write me a landing page for a home care agency. Like, really, dude? Like, you need to give more instruction and more guidance. So what's unique? What's the unique value proposition of this business? What kind of tone would you like it to strike? Tell it to talk directly to the person reading. Otherwise, it's going to be all third party. Talk about in particular when we've done stuff for our agency, have it focus on the outcomes and the results that we're going to get for you. Not Sagapixel does a great job with this, and we do a great job with that, and we do the other thing for this. No, you'll notice that the output then will be, we will help your business to accomplish X. If you've struggled with Y, we will help you with Z. Just by giving it that tweak, it'll do a much better job of all of that.
Yeah, I mean, we are trying to have like our own little AI club where we can continuously enhance our learnings and everything. So we'll try to keep on having these new additions and at least a bit of training here and there so that we can get to that point.
Very cool.
But you kind of mentioned the video marketing for YouTube. How exactly important is video right now? Because I feel like maybe back in 2020, people were talking about the importance of video for their, let's say, strategies. But then I think over the past couple of years, it kind of died down. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it.
If you are writing, so there are going to be some let me start over. If you are doing blog content as part of your SEO strategy, if you're doing blog content as part of your SEO strategy, there's a very good chance that you are wasting time. The odds are for most businesses, the people that are Googling these things are not interested in reading anything that you have to write, but they will sit down for 3 minutes and watch a video. In addition to that, the video is easier to produce and then edit and transcribe and turn into a blog post than any blog post is going to take. You can take a subject matter expert and they can pump out a 3-minute video in 10 minutes. In addition, the way that the person is going to react to that video is going to be different than your ghostwritten blog post. Now they get a sense for who the company is, who this doctor is, who this marketer is, who this agency owner is, in a way that they're never going to get from a blog post.
Right.
What I've found from us having pivoted towards being very heavy on video and then trying to get that video discovered through our blog, through organic search, has been that I get on the discovery call with the client, and now they feel like they know me already. And I have more credibility because they've listened to me talk about SEO or digital marketing for half an hour. That never happened with blog posts.
Yeah.
So in 2024, if you are not doing video as part of your SEO strategy, you are leaving 95% of the revenue you could possibly generate from your efforts on the table.
We probably will try to take this into our account as well to kind of start making more video content. But are there any other, let's say, hidden gems that you could have to kind of spill the beans over here? Any kind of, let's say, traditional SEO strategy that isn't as relevant as it is today and needs to be tweaked?
I think that people that are buying guest posts on marketplaces are wasting money. That's one thing. Some of the other things that you'll see, I think that user signals I'm in the camp of SEOs that believe that Google is paying attention to how people engage with your websites, the way TikTok pays attention to how people engage with your channel. I think that getting that social and like brand signals around your business can help tremendously. I can tell you, I've seen over the years of doing marketing for Sagapixel for our company, a lot of companies that we're competing against in the organic search, that if you look at like our backlink, our domain rating, our backlink profile, we're leaps and bounds ahead of them, but they're competing with us and beating us in some cases. And what do all those companies have in common? They're really big on Pinterest, or they have a huge LinkedIn following, or they have a big YouTube channel, but their backlink profile is nothing, but they're still competing with websites like ours when they shouldn't be. So I think that there are brand signals around all of this, meaning if you're doing SEO, if you want to help your SEO, you need to be thinking about everything else as well. You need to be trying to build brand signals around your company. And if you're only thinking backlinks and content, you're making this a lot more difficult for yourself.
If you kind of had to, let's say, do an elevator pitch for yourself and Saga, how would that kind of look like?
I would say that if you are a local healthcare provider, that you serve a very localized market geographically, or even within a market, like you have a very specific avatar that you're selling to, we are uniquely qualified to help you. The quality of SEO work that you would find for law firms doesn't really exist in the healthcare space, which was one of the reasons why we pivoted towards this space. And we can deliver to you the kind of results that you would get from a really good law firm SEO company, only in the healthcare space. And it's easy. When it comes to medical spas and dentists and plastic surgeons in local markets, it's so much easier to deliver results for them than it ever was for the attorneys back when we worked for them. We can probably help you.
And where can people find you?
I would go to find me on LinkedIn, just Frank Olivo, Olivo, or Google us. You'll find us that way.
But again, thank you so much for this chat, Frank. Hopefully we can get you back on the second episode, and hopefully you had a good time on the show.
Oh, I did. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching that episode. I hope you enjoyed. For more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe.